This is a 1967 Camaro, and there's so many custom elements. Somewhere around $600,000 invested in this build. Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. Today we're down here at my friend Dean's SoCal Classic Car Storage. We're about to shoot a car that I saw at SEMA 2017. I've read about it, I've seen videos on it. I've never seen the car in person. I'm just beyond stoked to see this car and to get to drive it a little bit. And for any of you wondering, yes, it does have harnesses and it does have an e-brake. If you guys haven't already seen this car, I absolutely can't wait to tell you about it. I can't wait to tell you what went into this build and the absurd dollar amount. So let's jump into this thing. This is a 1967 Camaro, and there's so many custom elements. The intent was to incorporate race themes to it, but a car that can be driven regularly. It can be performance driven, or it can just be cruised down the street. So let's start with, I'll pop the hood, we'll jump into here. So let's start there, right? Supercharged LT4, same thing that was in the car I used to drive, ZL1 Camaro. As I understand, it's not a built LT4, it's just a tuned one, so it's making somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 horsepower at the crank. So we got plenty going on there. It's mated to a 6-speed Tremec built by Bowler. I love that it's a 6-speed car. It's caged through the entire car from front to rear, which we all love that, right? For the safety elements. It's got the SpeedTech Extreme subframe up front. They went with the torque arm rear from SpeedTech. It's riding all around on RideTech, single adjustable coilovers. They went with a side exit, but not a side exit that's gonna mess with your ground clearance. I love how it's coming out of the quarter panel of this car. How slick is that for the exhaust exit? This is a piece I think is really cool, and I read about it, and now seeing it up close, it's really a unique grill they did on here. This was a laser cut one-off front grill. Right away what stands out too, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have caught on, is the flushed in chromed bumpers. You know, we live in a time, right, where we see a lot of these matching color to the bumper, or it's a black against the white or something of that nature, which I love that look as well. But I think bringing the chrome into this, you've modified this whole car and you've modernized the whole car, yet you've retained elements that bring you back to a time when that's what cars had. And then this front spoiler, just slick on here. Again, I love it seeing there's grime on here. Like, this car is definitely out getting driven. The yellow fog lamps worked in here. Obviously, this is a whole custom front piece on this car. And on the hood, obviously you want to get that heat out of here. Then, man, another company I really am a big fan of is the Forge Line wheels. Color choice against here is just great. Personally, I'm not in love with the green calipers. Just not my flavor. I don't hate it, but it's just not my flavor. I wouldn't have gone with that color. But I don't even care with the color of the wheel, the style of the wheel. He's got 19s on here. They definitely set up to run a lot of meat. You got a 305 up front, you got a 325 out back. And I do like that we got big brakes on here, man. It's Willwood 6-piston all the way around, I believe. This side exit I just can't get over. And without even having to look into it, obviously we know this is a custom piece as well. I know it's a full billet spoiler on here. Subtle, cool, very race inspired. So Fairway, the car is known as Fairway Camaro, 67 Fairway Camaro. Fairway being Fairway Chevrolet out in Las Vegas. That's who this car was originally built for. It went on to another owner, and now that owner is selling it at Mika Monterey. So bitchin', dude. This interior, they killed it on here. I mean, typically, I gotta be honest too, I typically don't go for a lot of white. It's not my thing, but this black and white in here, I mean, doing the Corbeau race seats, but putting the houndstooth inserts in, Full harnesses, both sides, fully caged. I dig this too, man. Once again, going to race car stuff, right? Is just the pull tabs here. God, the floors in here just look bitchin', don't they? And how they tied the dimple to the sill plate, all keeping the theme all throughout. I mean, there's a lot going on here. This could actually be, it could almost be too busy, but I don't know, it's just not. I know it's got a Sparco quick release, which is great, but I mean, dude, come on, how cool is it to have a tilt, right? Tilts are just great. Rear seat delete, you got storage compartments here. Fully finished out, man. This beautiful carpet back here. I just noticed, I don't see one speaker in this car. I think your audio is your exhaust. Man, it just snaps like the slightest little blip of the throttle. And it's game on. You feel it just pulling. Love this pedal box, man. And I'm a big fan of manual brakes. You guys have heard me say it a bunch of times. I love the feel of manual. Yeah, I just love how it feels. I mean, slight input, it's wanting to turn. And I mean, acceleration for days, my God. I mean, I know I'm barely in it. I just hit 5 grand. This is a bitchin' car. But it just heated way back up again. I really like the LT4 engine. I gotta admit though, I personally like the sound of the LS better. Just a different tone, that's all. I'm not griping about this, you know what I mean? I think it sounds incredible. But for some reason, I like the sound of LS engines a little bit better, I think. Fun now considering that SpeedTech's going to be doing they're sponsoring our Fox body. I mean, I've driven a good handful of SpeedTech equipped cars now, and they really do feel great. Just drives nice. The other thing I really like is the seating position. Everything's right where I want it to be, you know? Except the AC is a bit far away when you're harnessed in, but I can live with that. By the way, you guys, as I understand, feel free to comment away. I'm sure this will generate a lot of comments, but as I understand, somewhere around $600,000 invested in this build. That's definitely a significant number. I'm not saying that's the truth. I don't know for sure if that's accurate, but that's what I've been told, and I do believe it's probably really close to the truth. He warned me about that, and he said it doesn't like a high rev, it'll go into a limp mode. I mean, this is a car, in my just personal opinion, it's all here. Everything's here. It's just a matter of now there's some sorting out to be done on it. It's just so funny to me with custom cars. I think a lot of people don't understand is the process of not building the custom car, but getting it to where you can turn the key and drive it and everything works properly on it. torque. Same thing, still a little bit of a limp thing going on there. That was fun, man. Sort out a few issues on this thing, and I think you got a seriously bitchin' car. I mean, everything you want is here. It really is. It's just a matter of some basic sorting, and you know, if it was me and I could afford it, I'd buy the car and go drive the piss out of it and have somebody, you know, work with me to make sure everything's working right. That's it. Well, definitely a badass car. You know, some small things that I pointed out during the drive that definitely need some sorting out, but they're small things. It's not like things aren't working right on this car. There's just some sorting out. And considering that this car probably hasn't been driven a ton, there's a lot of money invested in this. As I understand, somewhere in the neighborhood of $600,000. I think whoever ends up with this car next and goes through the process of driving it a bunch, sorting through the issues, I think they're gonna have a fantastic car. And this car is built in a manner that it's timeless. This car is not gonna date itself over time. Absolutely bitchin' badass car, and congrats to whoever ends up with this car next. Big thanks to you guys for always hanging and watching and sticking around. I genuinely appreciate it, and I will see you in the next episode. All right, man, later.